Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, The Cat and the Pranks with the Mouse. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. In a cozy little house on the edge of town, there lived a mischievous cat named Felix. Felix wasn't your ordinary house cat. He had a reputation for being the prankster of the neighborhood. Whether it was knocking over plants or hiding in strange places to scare his owners, Felix loved playing tricks. But the best part of his pranking life was his trusty partner in crime, a clever mouse named Marvin. Now, Marvin wasn't the usual kind of mouse you'd find skittering around the house, trying to avoid being caught. Oh no, Marvin was different. He wasn't afraid of Felix, and in fact, he had an uncanny ability to outwit the cat at every turn. The two of them had an unspoken agreement. Felix would come up with a prank, and Marvin would add his own twist. Together, they were an unstoppable duo of mischief. One fine morning, as the sun peeked through the curtains, Felix was lounging on the windowsill, staring out at the birds. He stretched lazily and yawned. Then, an idea hit him like a lightning bolt. "I've got it," he meowed to himself, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Today, I'm going to pull off the best prank on Marvin yet." Felix crept quietly to the kitchen, where he knew Marvin was nibbling on some crumbs. He snuck up behind him, his tail twitching with anticipation. "Marvin, my friend," Felix said in his most innocent tone, "I've just found something amazing in the pantry. You have to see it." Marvin, who was quite the skeptic, narrowed his eyes. "Uh-huh. And what's this amazing thing, Felix? Is it another of your mysterious boxes of cereal that turn out to be empty?" Felix flashed him a grin. No. This time, I promise it's the real deal." Marvin sighed, but decided to play along. He followed Felix to the pantry, where Felix had placed an old, empty jar on the counter. Felix had filled it with a bit of peanut butter to make it look like something delicious. "Here it is," Felix exclaimed, dramatically pushing the jar forward. "It's a special treat I've found just for you." Marvin, ever the cautious one, sniffed the jar suspiciously. He knew Felix well enough to be wary, but the peanut butter smelled so good that he couldn't resist. Slowly, Marvin stuck his tiny paws inside the jar, and as soon as he did, the jar tipped over and fell to the floor, spilling its contents everywhere. "Gotcha!" Felix shouted with laughter. Marvin, covered in peanut butter, turned to glare at Felix. "You're impossible, Felix," Marvin muttered, licking the sticky mess from his paws. But even as he grumbled, a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. He'd been pranked, yes, but Felix's tricks were always so ridiculous that they were hard to stay mad at for long. "Well played, Felix," Marvin said, still licking his paws. "But just wait, I've got something special planned for you, my feline friend." Felix, ever confident in his ability to outsmart Marvin, didn't think much of Marvin's words. After all, Marvin was a mouse, and Felix was the cat. He was supposed to be the clever one. But what Felix didn't know was that Marvin had spent the night carefully planning his revenge. He had been working on the perfect prank that would leave Felix wondering what hit him. The next morning, Felix woke up to find something very unusual. His favorite catnip toy, his precious, squeaky fish, was nowhere to be found. Felix's heart sank as he searched under the couch, behind the curtains, and even in the laundry basket. No fish. "Marvin," Felix called, his voice rising with panic. "Where is my squeaky fish?" Marvin, who had been hiding behind a nearby chair, stifled a laugh. "Your squeaky fish? Oh, I haven't seen it," Marvin said innocently, his whiskers twitching with mischief. Felix's eyes narrowed. "I know you have it, Marvin. You're the only one who would take it." Marvin put on a faux expression of confusion. "Me? Why would I take your fish? I'm just a mouse, Felix. I have no interest in such a silly toy." Felix glared at Marvin, but decided to investigate further. He went to his secret stash of treats, hoping to find some clue there. And that's when he noticed it, a small, rolled-up note that had been placed carefully among his favorite treats. Felix eagerly unrolled the note. It read, "I've taken your fish. Find it if you can. M." Felix's ears flattened in annoyance. "Oh, it's on now, Marvin," he hissed, his tail lashing. "I'm coming for that fish." But what Felix didn't know was that Marvin had set up a series of hilarious obstacles to keep Felix busy. As Felix searched the house, he encountered one trap after another. Piles of paper cups stacked high, chairs that seemed to move out of place, and even a few harmless but thoroughly confusing mazes made out of string. Each time Felix thought he was getting closer to his fish, Marvin had another prank ready to foil him. Felix, though determined, couldn't help but laugh at how ridiculous the whole thing was. "I can't believe I'm being outsmarted by a mouse," he muttered. But he couldn't deny that Marvin was a worthy adversary. Finally, after what seemed like hours, Felix found the fish, not in the pantry or under the couch, but right where it had always been, sitting proudly on Marvin's tiny little bed in the corner of the room. "Marvin!" Felix cried out in exasperation. "You're unbelievable!" Marvin was sitting on the bed, looking far too smug for Felix's liking. "You're welcome," Marvin said with a wink. "And I think we're even now, don't you?" Felix plopped down beside Marvin and sighed. "You know, Marvin, I'm starting to think you're the clever one around here." Marvin chuckled. "Well, Felix, it takes a mouse to outsmart a cat." Felix looked at Marvin, then at the squeaky fish, and couldn't help but laugh. "All right, you got me, buddy. Let's call a truce." Marvin grinned, then nudged the fish toward Felix. "All right, you can have it back. But next time, I'll be ready for your pranks." From that day forward, Felix and Marvin entered a new phase of their friendship, the prank war. It became a daily event, each trying to outwit the other with bigger, bolder tricks. Sometimes Felix would hide Marvin's favorite slice of cheese, and other times Marvin would carefully place a sock in Felix's bed just to mess with him. But no matter how many pranks they pulled, they both knew it was all in good fun. Felix learned that while he was the bigger, stronger one, Marvin's wit and creativity made him an equal opponent. And Marvin realized that no matter how clever he was, Felix was always just one step ahead when it came to sheer determination. In the end, they agreed that the best prank was the one that made them both laugh. And with that, their friendship grew stronger, prank after prank, with both knowing that they had found a partner in mischief for life.